Good morning and welcome to the First Unitarian Church of New Bedford. I'm Mary Rapoza, a longtime member of this church and former religious education coordinator. And I'm currently the Director of Parks, Recreation, and Beaches for the City of New Bedford. We are a beloved community of people who believe that everyone is worthy of respect, science is real, the democratic process is a sacred thing, that we are all part of an interconnected web, and that the light and energy we share and put out makes a difference in this world. We are a people of purpose, and if what you hear today resonates with you, we hope you'll consider becoming part of this way cool family of seekers and keepers of this long dream that is our church. I have a couple of housekeeping tasks. Masks are required while in service. Please maintain distance, and there are stations for hand sanitizers in the front and the back of the church. Singing is fine as long as you keep your mask on. There will be no coffee hour yet. The candles of joys and concerns, we are letting people come up to the mic at this time to share those. And please make sure your cell phones are on silent. And Yasmin's going to help me with the lighting of the chalice.
I think the time change may have thrown some of the children off, not the parents.
We light the chalice this morning, grateful for the love that we experience in this beloved community. May the flame light the way for all who seek such abundance. This morning's opening words come from an unknown author, although I did find it at the internationaluua.org website. Our different paths come together in this holy place, graced by the history of our free religious heritage. Let us be mindful of the forces deep within which call us to become more than we are. May this hour bring rest and renewal, comfort and challenge. May we be reminded here of our highest aspirations and inspired to bring our gifts of love and service to the altar of humanity. May we know once again that we are not isolated beings, but that we are all connected in mystery and in wonder to each other, this community, and to the universe. So let's see, the opening hymn is number 361. Today will be a joyful day. Now it's time to greet one another. So please turn to your neighbors and say hello. And
I'm Rachel.
good morning.
John, hi. I can't forget it. Hi, I'm Rachel. Hi.
Haven't seen you guys in a while. I saw you last week. You usually sit right behind
Now, if you would join me in the unison reading of the covenant, it's in your this morning's order of service. We come together as a religious community, upholding freedom of conscience, right relationship, and the inherent worth of all people. We value our diversity and pledge to care for one another in the spirit of compassion, to speak and listen to each other with respect, and to promote justice and kindness in the world. Now we're going to have a story for all ages. Thanks, Yasmin.
Well, story for all ages. I'm not sure where the children are, but before I begin Nathando's journey, I just wanted to highlight a few things. We had an AHA night, which was sort of canceled because of the construction, and we were talking about women's history. The first thing we were sharing was that this beautiful Tiffany, those pieces of glass were all laid out by women. The footstools in front of you on the floor or the ground were in a disheveled state, and those were all redone and brought back to life by our Women's Alliance here in this church. And I wanted to highlight this fabulous member. She's no longer with us, but Trina Costa. She is amazing, and I just wanted briefly to talk about it. She started here in the basement, the first place where people can go for help with drugs. It was called AIDS for Addicts, right here where our thrift shop is. So coming full circle, I just start to think, wow, I am working in a place that takes actually our covenant to heart, right? Promote justice and kindness in the world. And I think all of these things come back full circle. And our, this month, it is renewing our faith. And so this week, it's renewing our faith in ourselves and trusting our gifts. And we are all surrounded and we are all here together. And so let me just read something that she talks about. This, I invite you at the end to look at this fun list of stuff. Anyway. This is a book of photos made by someone. She took people into her home off the street who had nowhere to go. And this is a photo album made by one of those women who thanked her with a letter saying, you know what, you opened your home to me. I smelled the fresh bread. I watched you feed the animals on your windowsill. This entire basket is all about her. And her essence is, I see people and I see them and I want to help them, and that is my number one goal in life. And I thought, you know what, me too, Trina. And so with that, we're going to now go into Nathando's journey. So Women's History Month all the time, every day here at the First Unitarian Church. So this story is new, and it's about a little girl who goes on a journey. Nathando's Journey by Jill Apperson, illustrated with its collage. Jabu and Natando live in Swaziland, a place of rolling hills and stretching plains. And the sun shines bright on villages and families, and there's a countryside full of lions that roar and play. Now her brother is going to be helping her throughout this journey, because today's the Reed Festival, a special day in Swaziland, and a very special day for Notando. For the first time, she's going to join all the other girls in the country to dance in front of the king and queen mother. So he helps her get ready by tying some dried pods onto her ankles, which she will stomp and rattle to the songs sung by the girls at the Reed Festival. Now she's really nervous about this dance and journey. Should we walk through the hills or the valleys? Well, the path over the hills is shorter, but we've never gone that way before. Now, she's afraid of what lies ahead, but she does not want to be late. So the two siblings start the long walk out of the village and up into the hills. Along the path, they meet a wild dog. Oh no! She's so scared of wild dogs with their deep growls and their big teeth. Don't be scared, says her brother. Look, the dog is just stretching and enjoying the sun. Come on, Notando, you try it. Nothing wrong with the little down dog. She stretches in the sun. It continues to comfort her. There's many more animals that can teach us things, her brother says. As the sun rises higher overhead, they begin to feel thirsty and tired. They decide to rest. Below them on the other side of the hill is a surprising sight. Lions, baboons, cobras, fish eagles, wild dogs, elephants. They're all at the watering hole. I think they're thirsty, she says. Remember the stretch of that wild dog? Well, now she's curious what the other animals are going to do. She spots the prints of a baby elephant. She steps next to them and playfully swings her arms. Look, Jabu, I am steady like an elephant. He knows Notando is learning from the animals. She feels as strong as a lion. She feels as calm as a fish eagle. She feels as brave as a baboon. And by observing and moving like the animals, she has learned many new things about herself. She's not afraid to dance anymore. She's so excited to be with the other girls. And now she has the courage, playfulness, and strength all inside of her. She's grateful to be herself. They hear the singing, the whistles, and the shouts coming from the valley. The festival is about to begin. She leaves the watering hole, refreshed, happy, and wiser, and whispers thanks to all the animals. The proud girls begin to dance across the field. She is ready to join her first Reed Festival. And that takes place in South Africa. So the moral of the story, be yourself. Everyone else is taken. And we're off to Sunday school.
So let's read the children out. May the words I say be kind and true. May love be a guide in all I do. May kindness sing within my heart. And may peace be with us while we part. At this time, I invite you up to light a candle of healing and celebration, and you can come to the mic and let us know what it is that you're celebrating or remembering.
My name is Deb, and I wanted to just tell you that my daffodils are putting up spikes of green, and they're this long, so I'm celebrating that.
Hi, I'm Donna Geller. I'm a new member again of this church. I've been coming for a little over a month now again. My elderly mother has finally accepted to move into assisted living, and she is stubborn like her father was, incredibly. Her longtime best friend just passed on Friday, and they're Jewish, and they bury, you know, they have to have the funeral right away. I'm not even sure. I think it might be even one day. But so she's there today. My sister took her, and I was, you know, praying for everybody. And I imagined my dad, who passed away about 12 years ago, there while I was meditating and praying, hugging her and holding her at the funeral and letting her know that everything's going to be okay. Because it's true. In the end, everything is going to be okay. Hope is everything. Thank you for letting me share.
And I just lit a candle for our great buddy Lincoln, our dog of 13 years, who passed on Tuesday. And the last two candles I'm going to light are for all the folks over in the Ukraine, sending them our best wishes and our love. This morning's prayer comes from the Cheyenne. And after the prayer, we're going to allow 30 seconds of silence. Sure, I can do that. Let us know peace, for as long as the moon shall rise, for as long as the rivers shall flow, for as long as the sun shall shine, for as long as the grass shall grow, let us know peace. The next reading is from the American Planning Association's recently adopted Planning for Equity Policy Guide. It details the different ways that equity in public space is being activated in reimagining the civic commons. Lynn Ross, the founder of the Spirit for Change Consulting, gives specific and practical approaches to equity in an article for Medium publication. She reminds us that equity is an ongoing practice for all of us who believe in better public spaces that can change lives and communities. Quote, "Our libraries, parks, community centers, trails and sidewalks, waterfronts, and other public spaces that enrich our communities should be intended for the many. And the pursuit of that equity, much like the pursuit of democracy, is constant and is not a spectator sport." The next hymn is number 346, "Come Sing a Song with Me." Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. I know, I like that one too. This morning's offertory words, I'd like to share with you one of my favorite Bible verses that I like to ponder. It's from Matthew chapter 6, verse 21. "Where you put your treasure, there is your heart." I think it would be wise for more of us these days to consider the wisdom of this verse. And I'll leave you with that. Where you put your treasure, there is your heart. I know that I value this community. I value this religious, liberal religious church. And so because my heart is here, I put my treasure here as well. I hope you will join me. So I'm old enough to remember all the neighborhood children out on the streets and sidewalks, playing until the streetlights came on. We knew every child in our neighborhood and most of their siblings and parents. It was in these public spaces that we found community. As we got older, we started exploring parks and beaches in neighboring and more distant towns, often biking in groups of 5 or more for miles to visit these places. Festivals, sports, music events, some of my most pleasant memories have occurred in public spaces. The public realm is where we experience and explore our neighborhoods and our communities. It's where we meet and celebrate as community and neighbors. The right to gather in community in our shared public spaces is protected by the First Amendment of the Constitution. It has been my great pleasure to serve as the Director of Parks, Recreation, and Beaches for the City of New Bedford for the last 9 years. As a student at the Landscape Institute at Radcliffe College and later Harvard University, I focused on the history, planning, and design of public spaces, streets, cemeteries, and parks. As a Parks and Rec professional, I'm part of a community that recognizes the importance of parks and public spaces to promote health and wellness, the conservation and restoration of our natural environment, while keeping equity at the center of all we do. Our mission here in the New Bedford Parks, Recreation, and Beaches Department reflects these tenets. Identifying barriers to participation in park programming and public spaces is an important part of the work we do. Some of the barriers experienced by residents in our city include physical barriers such as transportation, cultural barriers such as financial barriers and language barriers. And there are also more subtle barriers, often related to perceptions of safety. We know that not everyone feels welcome in all of our neighborhood parks. We know that fewer women and girls use parks than boys and men. We work hard to address these barriers through our programming and our built environment. For instance, we're starting a girls' soccer program this spring at Riverside Park. We also work with many partner organizations to create programming in parks. We've worked with the Community Economic Development Council to bring El Patio de Comidas to Riverside Park to showcase the food and culture of the Central American community. And if you haven't been, it's definitely worth going. It'll run again this summer. We host favorite festivals like the Folk Festival at Custom House Square and the Pride Festival in Buttonwood Park and Reggae at West Beach, with one of my favorite swimming places, with community partners as well. And these partnerships are so important to us because our department does not have the capacity to bring the level of programming that the city deserves. But there's so many organizations in the city that step up to help meet those needs. The restoration, conservation, and celebration of our native habitat, flora, and fauna also occurs in our parks. The Park Board, a number of years back, instituted a native plant policy for parks. This has since been adopted more broadly by the city for all our public spaces. Switching to a native plant palette rejuvenates our native ecology by creating spaces for all our brother and sister insects, mammals, birds, and all the little tiny critters that support our local ecology. We opened the Ricketson Nature Trail with the Friends of Brooklawn Park, and last year the Ricketson Nature Center in Brooklawn Park with hands-on displays, educational programs, and outdoor activities. We also have 2 other nature trails in the city, and if you haven't been there, the Flora B. Persh Trail up on New Plainville Road is just lovely. There's a certified vernal pool there, and shortly if you go, you'll see egg cases for amphibians there. as well as the nature trail by Pulaski School at the Ross C. Matthew Nature Trail. They're all very different and all worth your visit. They're all about 1 mile long. We are creating nature-based solutions to stormwater management in our parks to ensure the resiliency of our landscape in the face of climate change. We're working on nature-based storm management designs with the recently redesigned parking area and landscape around Buttonwood Park Community Center. And we're currently working on designs for stormwater management at East Beach parking lots and Brooklawn Park near the duck pond. We partner with many organizations to manage our parks as well, including stormwater projects and community gardens at Riverside Park with Groundwork South Coast and their green team. And this summer, there'll be bird watching programs in our parks this summer and spring in collaboration with the Audubon Society. Public spaces are vitally important to the social health and development of our communities. Addressing systemic racism in public places creates space for community. The health of our democratic system depends on the exchange of ideas in public spaces. We must ensure that all feel welcome and all are heard, and that communities will be empowered through participation and ownership in planning and development. Therefore, we strive to embed equity in all our department decisions. The Park Board recently accepted a First Nations land acknowledgement, recognizing that the land that we manage is unceded territory of the Wampanoag people of the First Light. Working with the City Office of Housing and Community Development, we have revitalized playgrounds in high-need neighborhoods. The last 2 playgrounds we did were the Baby Kenny Totlaw on Acushnet Avenue and the Beauregard Pina Playground on First Water Street, South Water Street. We also have worked with them on revitalizing Harrington Park and many other spaces. We are currently working with the New Bedford Historical Society to create Abolition Row Park, not far from here, just a couple of blocks here, which will include interpretive signage telling the story of New Bedford's role in the Underground Railroad. We are a participant in the Trust for Public Lands National 10-Minute Walk to Parks initiative to ensure that everyone has a park within 10 minutes of their home. And actually, we are blessed because we have a lot of public spaces and we only have a couple of areas in the city where we're working to address that need. We're also a part of the Safe Routes to Parks initiative to ensure that our streets are safe for pedestrians, bicyclists, and vehicles coming to and from our parks. These initiatives address transportation barriers in the city by providing safe access to neighborhood parks. We were part of the national cohort to implement the Safe Routes to Parks design models. We use those at Ashley Park, and Ashley Park is going to be renovated very soon. Possibly that construction may start this summer. We also are planning doing some Safe Routes to Parks planning. Is going to begin at the Pulaski Park. That should begin by this summer as well. And our next project will be Rockdale Ave at Buttonwood Park. My staff like to remind me that we're the fun department. Recreation is in our name. And I love that word, recreation, recreation. It's a great word. Time in nature, with community, engaging in sports, walking the trails, all the ways we use our parks and beaches rejuvenates our body, our mind, and our spirit. This was very obvious to many for the first time during the height of the COVID pandemic. People flocked to our open spaces and our beaches in great numbers. Health professionals are more and more recognizing the importance to our health and well-being of getting outdoors in natural settings. Unfortunately, parks and recreation are underfunded throughout the country. A Massachusetts Department of Conservation and Recreation Special Commission report from December of 2021 found that Massachusetts is last in per-person spending on parks and recreation in the United States. Here in New Bedford, all our park programming, all our park improvements are all funded through grants or through fees raised by the department. So when you're paying those parking fees to go to the beach, all of that money is being spent down there at Fort Taber and the beaches. We use that money where it's collected. Public spaces belong to the public. That's all of you. You own that land. You hire us to manage and maintain that land for you. We must all be active stewards of the valuable and beautiful legacy of our public spaces. We should enjoy and treasure these spaces and hand them off to the next generation better than we found them. Thank you all for coming to hear this. Every day I'm so pleased to head into work because the work we do is fun, but it's important, and I think it really does make, it is impactful. Our closing hymn is number 67, We Sing Now Together.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Where do we find this information? Is it on the website, the Bedford website? Or?
So yes, that's a good question, thank you. So we, the Parks and Recreation, we have a drop down on the City of New Bedford website, so if you go to www.newbedford-ma.gov and go to the Parks and Rec drop-down, you can find out more about all our parks. We have over 60 parks and playgrounds in the city, as well as 3 miles of beach. We also have a registration platform at www.nbprb, so New Bedford Parks, Recreation, and Beaches, nbprb.com. And at that website, you can find out about all our programming, about how to rent facilities for family events or corporate events, how to host an event in a park, whether it's a public event or a private event, so all of that, how to reserve time on one of our diamonds or on our tennis courts. Thank you for asking. Our closing words are from Charles Howe. May we go forth from this place, thankful for the life that sustains and renews us, and open to the grace that surrounds and surprises us. May we go forth from this place with openness and with thanksgiving. Thank you and have a wonderful rest of your day.